Assalamu alaikum viewers, and welcome back to Prime Live. I am so privileged to be seated with champion South African women who are doing amazing things in communities. I am seated with Dr. Zaheeda Adam as well as Fatima. They are members of the FEED non-profit organization. Now, FEED was established in 2005 by a group of visionary women. Now, the organization is dedicated to alleviating global poverty through sustainable community initiatives. Now, with a focus on food security, education, empowerment, as well as development, FEED touches the lives of thousands on a daily basis. Now, the two beautiful ladies who are joining us this evening will be sharing some insights on some of the impactful work, and we will also get to discuss the involvement with the International Girl Rising Movement. Assalamu alaikum, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us on Prime Live.
Wa alaikum salam. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
No, it's such a privilege and, such an honor for us to be able to have this conversation with you. I mean, FEED has been doing such incredible work across South Africa, and, to be seated with two of the ladies who are behind the incredible movement is such an honor for us. And Dr. Adam, I'm going to start the conversation with you this evening. Tell us more about FEED. Tell us about the organization, how it was started, and just a little bit more about the kind of work that you guys do.
FEED was actually started, as you mentioned, in 2005, and we were actually a group of moms, at our kids' primary school, who got together and decided that we'd actually like to expose our kids to a more diverse South African demographic. And I think that basically ignited the spark, and we wanted to get involved in initiatives that would alleviate poverty. So FEED represents our mission to feed, educate, empower, and develop individuals. And in the acronym, and each of its letters represents the different activities that FEED undertakes. So I think Fatima will tell you on a daily basis, we're feeding, and she'll give you the numbers of the people and the centers that we feed.
No, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, I love, that you took inspiration from, the things that lacked in communities. And that's what I love so much about non-profit organizations, is they build, and fill in those gaps in communities where government isn't always able to reach the communities that really, really need the help. Fatima, tell us more about some of the, projects and initiatives that FEED is part of. I know you do daily feedings as well as weekly feedings. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So, yes, I remember way back in 2005, I think, when we used to meet on a Sunday to cook at Zaheeda's house in one of, I think, her granny's pots. And so that was the first aim of FEED, is to alleviate hunger. And currently we are feeding at 18 centers, and twice a month we distribute groceries to the centers. So post-COVID, there was a problem with transport and even the cost, of people actually coming on a daily basis, because we were cooking on site on a daily basis. Currently, we do Lila feeding on a Friday to Masjid Al-Falah in Hillbrow, and then to a masjid in Tembisa, and that's 500 to 600 people. And then the 18 centers, I think we're looking at approximately over almost 2,000 people, and in Ramadan it's 3,000 people that we feed on a daily basis. So alhamdulillah, the numbers are growing, and I think that's one of the reasons for being here this evening, is to invite donors to support, either monetary or even contributing to groceries that we require to feed to the different centers.
Wow, mashallah. I mean, those numbers are amazing, and having conversations with organizations and with people like yourselves makes me feel really good and really warm inside, because you see the true beauty of community and coming together to make a difference. And hunger is a huge issue in South Africa. I don't think South Africans are aware enough about how many people are going hungry on a daily basis, how many children across South Africa are going hungry, who rely on that one meal they get at school. And I love that you have started this organization to be able to cater to that need, to be able to give meals to people who really, really need it. And, may Allah really reward you abundantly for your efforts. It's absolutely amazing what you do. Now, something I also want to talk about this evening, Dr. Adam, you have many projects under this amazing umbrella organization. And one of those is the Bees Project. And you're actually having graduation that's coming up. So can you please tell us more, what is the Bees Project, and tell us also more about the graduation?
Okay, so as I indicated, FEED's got projects in education, and Bees would constitute both a project in education and empowerment. So Bees is a baking school. The acronym there represents our mission to bake, educate, empower and sustain South Africans. And because so many homes in South Africa are food insecure, we sought to impart skills that would allow women to be able to earn an income from home and support their families. And it's been amazing, If you speak to our chefs at Bees, they'll tell you that they're not only chefs and instructors, they're actually therapists, because these women come from very food insecure homes, for starters. They battle to feed their families. They come from communities that are impoverished. But they come to a happy space. And I think your team is going to do a live stream from the baking school. And we'd like you to see how important it was for us to ensure that women come to a space that's happy, that's beautiful, that's empowering. And that's essentially what Bees offers. So, we started in 2019, and I think we had our inauguration in November of 2019. And within 3 months, we were then faced with COVID and, stage 5 and stage 4 lockdowns and then load shedding. But through it all, as we sit here today, we're very proud to, share with everyone the fact that we've now had 445 ladies graduate from our 5-day course. 135 ladies graduate from the 4-week course, and we baking in our industrial bakery. We do give women, the opportunity to learn commercial baking, but how our system works is we basically take in women between the ages of 16 to 35. There's a certain admission criteria because we provide bursaries for these women. If someone really wants to do the course and can afford it, they're welcome to apply as well. But it's largely a course for women, where it's going to change a life. It's going to ignite a spark. It's going to empower a community, family and a community. So initially when we started at the baking school, we only had 4-week courses. And then what we realized is that not everybody, has the same aptitude for baking, the same passion. And this is essentially what we, the criteria we use in all the skills that we impart. We've got a sewing school now that, we also teach women to sew, and we're manufacturing product to be able to generate income to ensure that our skills run. But so at the baking school, we then, from a 4-week course, we condensed it into a 5-day course, where anyone who comes and does the 5-day course, within those 5 days, when they graduate, they've learned how to cost, they've been exposed to entrepreneurship, and they can bake the 4 or 5 items that are most sought after within their communities. And this, if they, were to go to a taxi rank or, an area in their communities and sit and sell, a lot of them generate up to about 1,000 to 1,500 Rand a week. From the 5-day course, we assess your affinity for baking or your aptitude for baking, whether you have a passion for it, but also your level of commitment, punctuality, your ability to clean your surroundings, the pride you take. And that will basically indicate whether you then get inducted into the 4-week course. When our ladies leave, they're given the commodities that they bake on a daily basis, because a lot of them can't afford the transport to come in and, to come to the classes. So that's how they get through the 5-day course. When they start the 4-week course, what we do for them is that we ensure that when they finish the 4-week course, they'll have a full-on baking kit. So every commodity that they bake, they then sell, and they've got to give us an amount of 600, which we take as a registration fee. And we subvent that amount, and we ensure that by the time our ladies finish the 4-week course, they've got a full baking kit to start their business. And then from the 4-week course, those that are really passionate come in, they volunteer and they assist us on the industrial side. We haven't formatted a course on the industrial or commercial side yet, but we use that bakery to address issues like food insecurity, poverty alleviation. We bake bread on a daily basis, and to ensure that on a weekly basis, currently we're baking about 400 loaves, and we're supporting centers where there's young kids, so to ensure that these kids go to school and they've got a meal and they've got a sandwich and stuff like that. So it's evolved from a small area it was basically a house in Fordsburg. I think under roof, maybe about 250 square meters, but it's now housing a full-on baking school. It's got the industrial bakery, and so many women have benefited from it. We've got ladies that have graduated. Some of our ladies have received tenders, and we've got a lady who's now employing students from our baking school in the Free State. Some have opened up restaurants. Others are baking for confectionaries. One of our students was from us. She then got a scholarship to the Johannesburg Culinary School, and thereafter she applied for an opportunity in Disney World. She's baking there. So there's lots of very, very heartwarming and success stories that are very encouraging. If you go to the Instagram page, there's a lot of ladies sharing their stories. And that is why we appeal to you to go look at and listen to their stories, invest in them, and hopefully help us empower ladies.
That's such an incredible structure, and just listening to the success stories, it speaks to the love and the passion that goes behind these empowerment structures. To be able to provide women with skills like this is absolutely amazing. I don't think I can bake 5 items that are mostly requested in communities. I think it's an amazing way to break the cycle of poverty and give back to communities, and give back those soft skills that will be able to allow them, like you said, to reach further. And I mean, baking at Disney World and baking all over the world is such an incredible achievement for the ladies that are actually part of the program. So it's a really beautiful initiative that you're not just feeding people, you are also feeding them with knowledge and skills that are able to take them further and empower them for the future, which is incredible, because you leave that indelible mark on their life forever, and they're able to, like you said, come back and share their skills, or be able to become employers or entrepreneurs and be able to upskill and employ more people. Now, Fatima, something that is also very important when it comes to addressing food insecurity as well as poverty alleviation is also food gardens, being able to empower people with being able to access and grow their own food, which is a skill in itself, which is something you guys are part of as well. Please tell us more.
So I was also involved in our food gardening project. FEED also has a very strong youth committee. I think, Zaheeda, we have over 100.
They call themselves the FEED Squad.
About 400. So in Ramadan, I know, because we also do community service hours, and so within a minute, Zaheeda, all the slots are taken up. So people pitch up even though they're not allowed to. That's how enthusiastic they are. So when we did the food garden, it was at a school in Newlands for physically and mentally challenged students. And we got in an expert who did biodynamic gardening. So to actually eat from the earth and to ensure that there was enough nutrients in the soil, because especially for us, yes, we do need nutrition, but for those that are physically or mentally challenged, and who was it was a poorer area, so they were only eating 1 meal a day at the school, and we wanted them to actually eat from the garden itself. So for me, my background is nutrition, and I always tell people that I see, or my clients, to go back to basics, eat from the earth every day. And I remember the expert we had on biodynamic gardening who said that even if you take a seed and you had to rub it in your hand, it will actually pick up what your body needs. So when you plant it in the soil and you eat from it, it's what you will actually give your body will get that back. So it is something that I really am passionate about, and I really feel that everyone, even if you live in an apartment and have a pot plant of mint and you put that mint in the tea, you've actually eaten from the earth that day, because we're so disconnected. And I know earthing is a thing that people need to do. You know, you need to walk bare feet. And so I think we actually need to eat from the earth every day. So that's also a project which we did specifically at that school. And because there's so many other things happening, it's something I think we would like to probably pursue and maybe incorporate at new venues and schools or other centers that we feed at as well.
Yeah, I think specifically at schools for the disabled, we've done, at the Adelaide Tambo School in Soweto, we put up a multi-purpose quote together with Gift of the Givers. And there we were also keen on doing food gardens. COVID, basically stopped us in our tracks with a lot. In fact, the garden that we had done at the Coronation School, so the earthworks take up, often you see a piece of land and you think we're going to grow, but, drainage, water, the way the water runs, all of those things. So I think there we spent probably over 150,000 and just on earthworks to ensure that everything was set. And from that garden, how in fact with our gardening projects, how we seek to do it is that we'd like a third of the garden to be allocated towards the kids at the sort of disabled, the schools for the disabled, because a lot of those kids, again, need to learn soft skills to empower themselves. So when they leave these schools, they've got something to do. Also with our baking school, we've brought in kids from the Sepoleto school from Vosloorus. We teach them how to make muffins so that when they leave the school, they can bake muffins and sell muffins. They start at school and they bake muffins, they sell popcorn and stuff like that. It's an initiative we do with them. We, targeting a lot of the schools for the disabled. We're looking to, there's another school in the area that's also identified a piece of land. So we'd like a third of the land to go to teaching the children how to grow food, set up food gardens. Another third in the impoverished areas, like at the prototype that Fatima mentioned, is to feed the community. And we'd like a third to be sold to generate income for the school. We unfortunately could not see our vision, completely realized because the garden almost went into a state of disrepair, so to speak, over COVID, but it's certainly a project we'd like to pick up. And once that prototype, is realized, we'd like to enforce it at other schools, particularly for the disabled or, vocational schools and stuff like that. So, and then we've got our sewing project as well, called Threads of Hope. And with that, we also we've made product, which we're going to be launching in some modest way stores. But the onus is to ensure that we are able to teach more women. We would like to engage, the sector education training in the country to get a stipend for our students. We, to date, haven't, made too much progress on that front. So FEED is still funding all our skills initiatives on our own. And that's why we look to the community to support us to ensure that we can support and help other communities and improve our society in South Africa and change the canvas of the country and the demographic. So that is essentially what FEED seeks to do.
Absolutely. I mean, Fatima, as a tree hugger myself, I absolutely love, the idea of encouraging even families in their homes to grow some mint or grow something, and you feel so good after, you've spent so much of time and love and energy into growing something that you can now use and maybe even give back from. And I love that you use your background as a dietitian to also bring that knowledge and skill to the food gardens and being able to teach people the importance of feeding themselves, not just, to fill yourself, but for nutritional benefit as well. And I love you. I learned something new today from you about the seed, and I absolutely love that. I'm going to use that. And Dr. Adam, about the sewing initiative. It's absolutely incredible that you have these multiple different platforms where you're teaching soft skills to people. These kinds of skills will be instrumental, in breaking that chain of or that vicious cycle of poverty, as we always call it, because you're constantly stuck in this vicious cycle. And by empowering these people through these incredible platforms that you have, I mean, you're really able to alleviate poverty, and I really commend, the work that you guys do and the entire organization in what they do. But like you said,
one more. because it appears that we're only teaching, we're domesticating everybody. The reason we do that is the sewing and the baking was largely identified because we wanted women to be able to generate income from home. But we've also got a tech and craft workshop with a laser cutting machine, and that also is work in progress. And once that's set up, our ladies that get taught at the baking and the sewing schools will be then, receive a course in entrepreneurship. Already they're getting they get taught costing, but they will be taught computer skills. And then on the craft side, we've got our other initiative called Gifting with a Purpose. So hopefully there we're looking to make, wooden toys and boxes and stuff like that. And that can complement what we do at the baking school and the sewing school. But our choice of skills is largely driven by what women from impoverished societies can do to work from home and start home businesses, and then grow from there.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, to continue on the incredible work that you guys are doing in communities all across South Africa, a lot of support is actually required. And that's also why we're here. Yes, to teach, our audiences about some of the amazing projects that they can be part of and support, but also to get their support. Can you please share, information, your social media handles, or even contact information on how volunteers can maybe get involved, or even how our viewers at home can actually donate to some of these incredible projects you have going on?
So our Instagram page is feed_SA, and from there I think it would give you a good insight into the organization, what we do. In terms of the baking school, you can pick us up on Bee's School of Baking, again on Instagram. Our website, Fatima, have you got
I think our contact numbers are also on there. So whoever needs to contact us, they can pick up our email and our contact numbers from both the Instagram pages of Feed and Bees School of Baking.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that with us this evening. And Fatima, any closing words for our audience this evening?
So I think we would like to invite, we cannot do it on our own, so we really would love to invite the support of people who are listening, not only monetary and not only in terms of groceries, but even in skills, to just have someone, for example, when we had our sewing course, we had designers who came in for a month, one per day, and they taught them. So anyone with skills is most welcome to contact us and to come and join and just be part of just making a difference to the lives of others, especially in our beautiful country.
Absolutely. But we thank you so much, ladies, for joining us this evening and for sharing your beautiful initiative with us. Viewers at home, it is unfortunately that time of the evening where we have to say Assalamu alaikum. Please do support Feed SA. Reach out to them on their social media platforms. They do absolutely amazing work. Contribute in any way that you can.